Well, when it rains, it pours, and Matt Gaetz has found himself smack dab in the middle of a thunderstorm this week. Obviously, bad news erupted earlier this week for Matt Gaetz when his wingman, Joel Greenberg, was granted a delay, a second delay actually, in his sentencing hearing. But throughout the week, more and more information slowly started to trickle out. Like the information that, the Secret Service is actually part of the investigation. They're actively conducting investigations. Possibly, we don't know for sure, but possibly trying to determine if there was any kind of financial incentive offered for a presidential pardon on behalf of any of the individuals being investigated. But the big news dropped on Thursday afternoon. And that news was that the United States Department of Justice has brought on even more prosecutors to work on this case against Matt Gaetz. The two prosecutors they brought in, their specialties are what should be exceptionally concerning to Matt Gaetz, because these two prosecutors actually specialize in victims who have been psychologically manipulated. Basically, they work with victims, victims of abuse, victims of trafficking, who didn't realize that that is what was happening to them due to the psychological manipulation that occurred at the hands of their abusers. So why is that relevant to Matt Gaetz? Think back to the beginning of the scandal. Think back to all those Venmo and PayPal receipts. Matt Gaetz out there paying for tuition, paying for books, paying for gas money, paying for all kinds of things for these young girls who just thought, oh, wow, what a sweet, nice congressman. It is possible that the U.S. Department of Justice believes that Matt Gaetz making these friendly payments to the girls was in fact psychological manipulation. Perhaps, and again, this is pure speculation because we do not know. We are not a part of the case. This is just trying to use the information that is available to try to paint a picture. So what they could be looking at here is, was Matt Gaetz psychologically manipulating these young ladies by paying for tuition, paying for gas, paying for all their little needs, odds and ends here and there, in order to get them to perform sexual favors on him? That is what I believe is taking place. Again, I am not a part of this investigation. I do not work at the DOJ, so I do not know for certain. We're just trying to piece the pieces together. And right now, that seems like the most obvious and most logical conclusion as to what is happening here. And by the way, that is not limited to just Matt Gaetz. This could also be with Greenberg himself. It could be with any of the other so far unnamed co-conspirators. Because don't forget that either. There's a lot of people that were listed in the indictments against Greenberg, but their names were not listed. So this could be about Gaetz. It could be about anybody else. But smart money right now says it's on Gaetz, because we know for a fact he was making these very suspicious payments to these young women and likely getting favors in return based on the available information, based on the Greenberg confession letter, and based on the text that we have seen from Greenberg himself. So Matt Gaetz is in trouble. And after many, many, many weeks of not getting any new news about this story, this week has certainly been quite a roller coaster. And it's one that I'm sure Matt Gaetz would love to get off of very soon, because it hasn't been kind to him. If you can't get enough Ring of Fire, we encourage everyone to subscribe to our channel for fresh video content 7 days a week. And for even more from me, you can follow me on all social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Fair and Balanced.